Hey guys, welcome to another episode of my Minecraft survival series. As we kick off this episode, I am reorganizing things into shulker boxes. I've made a couple trips now over to the end in order to secure a bunch of shulker boxes so that I can load up my ender chest here. And I'll have some items I'll have to get out of here, but I've been pulling items out of my small storage system I have just inside my house here. I've got a purple blocks full of end blocks, and I've renamed these too so that you can tell which is which. I have a box full of glass now, and I have a box full of ice and snow. Based on what I'm still got in here, I think I need another box for nether items. Yep, there we go, lime green dye box. All right. So now I've got a whole bunch of new boxes in my kit. I have made myself almost a stack of anvils because that's how much iron I have. I can just make a stack of anvils and carry them around in a shulker box because I am so fancy pants now. Alright, I'm going to load up all my new shulker boxes in here and get all of these items out and try to rearrange appropriately. There we go. Alright, so now I'm carrying around an ender chest that's going to do pretty well for me. And this one I'm just going to name Wool. And then I'm going to head over to the farm. Alright, so now I'm headed over to my farm area and my automatic wool farm. Automatic sheep shearing station, I guess I should call it. And I'm going to get some wool so that I can make some carpets. I think I'm going to take an assortment of wool. So let's put this down first off. Let's get the wool box out here. All right, now let's just get a stack of each. Okay, so truly the only thing we're missing here is brown wool. But otherwise, this is a very complete kit. I can just take this wherever I want. Let me take another stack of white just because white is pretty useful. Alright, that is looking pretty good. Wool, dye, nether blocks, glass, end blocks, ice, iron, quartz, cobblestone, arrows, brewing kit. I could probably use a box of like solid stone and maybe I'll dye it like a dark gray color just to differentiate between the two. Brewing kit, drops, redstone. My adventure kit is just kind of a general, like, workstation, tools, carry my equipment, and valuables include all of my diamonds and gold that I've mined, etc. So on today's episode, we are going to build a mob farm. Now the mob farm that I'm going to build is a bit old in design, but frankly, if it works, you can't really mess with that. You'll see I've dug out like a hole here. It is like 3 at one edge and then it has diagonal corners going out. This is the hole that we're going to dig down all the way to the bedrock level. Actually, let me amend that. We are going to dig a hole in the center that goes all the way down to the bedrock level. So let's see. Try to do this as carefully as possible, but yeah, we're going to dig out this 3x3 that is in the center, so that should be directly in the center. And now we're going to expand it to 5x5. All right. It's getting a little dark on me because of the night approaching. So now we have a 5x5 hole in the middle. This 5x5 hole is what I'm going to dig all the way down to the bedrock. And then I am going to dig the rest of this hole down about 30 blocks. And that's going to be the chamber that spawns everything. And just to make this easy, I am going to do this in the form of a third-person time lapse, which I'm also going to narrate so that you can just understand what I'm doing. So guys, as I said previously, this is not my mob farm design. This is actually designed by Gnembon, a guy who's very into the programming of the game, the so-called science of Minecraft. He came up with this thing. It's basically the most efficient mob farm you can build. The video that he has out is a little outdated because he made it for version 1.12, I think, and I'm working in 1.13. But as you can see, the first part, of course, it's important to dig the central 5x5 area all the way down to the core. I'm occasionally digging into the sidewalls. That's just to take out like random elements that I find, like gold, iron, coal. And then once I get down to the stronghold area, I've reached kind of a danger point because when you break through the stronghold, of course, all the enemies attack. So once I take out the enemies in the initial room, I then decide to go down into the stronghold and run around and spam torches everywhere. I do it on the lower levels and off camera for a second there, and then I go back through the rest of the area. It's very important that every corridor surrounding the mob farm be well lit in order to prevent as many spawns as possible in the area surrounding the mob farm. So now that I've cleared the area out, I'm using brick and stone and other materials that I have available in my inventory just to seal off this chute so that monsters can't walk into it or fall off the sides and possibly wind up in the stronghold rather than my collection area below. So then I proceed down to the bedrock, which of course is digging all the way down to level 4. Level 4, of course, being the last level that I leave, which you see there, and that's where I put all of the hoppers facing into the west wall. I then dig out a little bit of a room there. And then I made the mistake of putting the carpets on top of the hoppers. I wouldn't recommend doing that because you wash them out later. I went back up then 30 blocks and I put that plug of dirt that you saw me put into the hole there, and that just makes it safe basically. It also allows me to run the water in the basin, and that way I can go back up to the surface and start digging my way down to that spot where I put the dirt with relative safety. Of course, digging the top part of the hole, this wide 21 by 21 area, takes a lot more time, is a lot more complicated, and I frequently have to go and drop off huge batches of materials that I'm digging up. So this next part is gonna take a little while. So I'm in spectator mode above my world, and all of the chunks have been rearranged. I don't know how this kind of corruption happens, but I'm going to assume that it had to do with me playing 2 accounts at one time, and now the chunks are all over the place. It has just completely screwed up my world. I don't know how to fix this. Hopefully I can go to a pretty recent backup and recapture my progress. This is really, really demoralizing. It seems like this entire area, my entire world really, over to here at least, is pretty screwed up. I don't know if I can fix this. So I've restored my world from a backup, and as you may recognize from the previous episode, there's my old Enderman farm. And the new Enderman farm that I just built over in that direction is gone. No Enderman farm anymore. So I get to rebuild the Enderman farm. And then I get to redo my mob farm project. Welcome back, guys. It's been a couple days since my last recording. It's been a rough week, as you saw from the previous clip. But we did manage to restore from a backup. The only problem is the backup was a couple days old. So I have had to go back to the end and rebuild the Enderman farm that you saw me build in the last episode. I've also redug this hole in order to catch up to where I was at the beginning of this episode. Of course, you'll notice that I've actually taken to texturing the walls with stone and actually some brick in some places. I'm not quite sure what got into me. And you also notice major difference is that the hole for the mob farm is now much closer to our large central hole. We're going to be taking the output from the hoppers that are at the bottom of this of the shaft that's below that dirt pile down there, and they're going to have to go all the way over here into a storage system. But just to show you that I did everything in survival, of course, here is everything that I dug out of this hole. I've got a lot of ores to refine. I got some extra bricks and other things, and I am ready to get back into it. I have got everything in my inventory bar that I need to build the upper portion of the mob farm, including all the platforms. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that in another third-person time lapse. Now I'm going to build up the central core of the platforms that will spawn the monsters. I started with 3 dirt blocks from the bottom, and then I put a upside down dropper on top of that, and then I just kept going up 2 dirt blocks and putting another dropper. And each time I placed the dropper, I went ahead and put the water bucket in it. Now I'm going and I'm using stone top slabs to make the platforms. Each of the sides is out 7 blocks from the center. So after I've established the 7 blocks in each direction, then I fill in the corners. As you can see, I make a couple of errors in placement with the slabs. Some of them tend to go to the level below, but I'll clean those up when I'm going back down the column later. I'm also placing 4 torches on all sides of the column so that I can light the platform in all directions. That way mobs don't spawn while I'm working. that I've got all the platforms and all the droppers in place, I'm going to start going down the second dirt column. And as I take it out, I'm going to look upward at the dropper above me and place an observer directly below it with the signal pointing downward. This uses the concept of quasi-connectivity to power the blocks below the observer. Now I'm going around and basically putting in the water the hard way, trying to do it with two buckets, using a water source on one side to refill the buckets and going around and placing water on every single raised ledge block. Would have been much easier if I had just grabbed a stack of ice and a non-silk touch pickaxe and come down here and placed all the blocks and broke them and let the water flow. So I strongly recommend that. At this point, for example, you see I'm basically going back to get the last water bucket. Now I'm placing the dirt blocks on the edge of the center plug with signs, and then I'm going to dig my way all the way down to the bottom. And as you can see, all the carpets were washed away while I was placing the signs, so I had to dig them out of the hoppers and put them back. So welcome back again. Alright, so now I'm standing on top of the fully built mob farm, and I'm about to start doing the wiring. I just put some smooth stone blocks on top of here. I think we're going to try to come from this direction, and we're going to go 1 and set it to 4, 2, set it to 4. Actually, I'm just going to go through and set all these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, shift 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Alright, so now we need to, I think, go out like at least, probably this many blocks. Yeah, I think that many blocks. Alright, so we'll just put another one there, and then we have our lip on this side, and really all we need to do over here is just kind of run the redstone back around. On this side we need to have a comparator coming in here, and a redstone line going back to it, and a, what happened to my lever here to set it off. Alright, oh, I haven't done the, have to set all these. And there we go. Alright, so now I am ready. I want to get a little bit of an angle, and we're going to turn this on and see if it works. Alright, very nice. All the levels appear to be washing at this point. Huh. Man, wow. For some reason that doesn't seem to be burning down. I wonder what I did wrong on my circuit there. It just kind of opened up and now it's like not closing. Alright, let me go check the video and come back and see what's going on here. Alright, it looks like this comparator is supposed to be set to subtract mode. Yeah, alright, so they're all turning off. And now the levels are going back down. Now, when I turn off the mob farm, what I want to happen is I want for all the levels to be flushed like this. That way nothing can spawn on them. So the method to do that is to actually wait for it to be open and then reset this hopper out here in the middle. Try to get a fix on which block it's under. This one right here. Okay, so while this is going on, I think we take this out and then we put this hot dropper back in here and put this on here. Alright, this should do it, I think. Let's see what happens. Maybe I've messed it up permanently. Who knows? Alright. Yeah, so when it's off, when the repeater... Move, dude. When the repeater that was on top of the dropper goes off is when the bucket gets dispensed now, and when it comes on, the bucket is pulled back in. So that's perfect. It's going to work great. Alright, so now I'm going to cover up the top of this with some dirt, and we're going to start seeing what kind of mob drops come in. Looks like the first victim of my mob farm is going to be the guy, what is he, the trader, the wandering trader. He just got washed down to the bottom. Let's go see what kind of drops we got from him. Okay, guys, I've cleaned up my base camp here. Still got this, all the item storage here. I'll come back and deal with this later. I've filled in the whole top of this with grass, and so it's covered up now. So, another thing I was saying about building your farms first, we've got to figure out a way to cover up this circuitry because now there's just a bunch of circuitry sitting out here in the open. And frankly, if I accidentally place a bucket of water anywhere up here, all the circuitry is going to be gone and it's going to mess up my mob farm. At any rate, now I'm ready to fly down to the very bottom of my base, and we're finally going to get started on digging out parts of this. So if I'm keeping my sense of direction appropriate, then over here is the corner where the mob farm has come in. So let's see, how high can I dig up from just down here? Like that? Okay. All right. Let's see where that lies. All right, so there's like a tunnel from the stronghold, pardon me, that comes in there. It's on the same level. Yeah, it's right below the level of the farm. It's just creeper dying to be shot over there and killed. So enjoy that, buddy. Come over there and get your drops in just a second. But yeah, all right. So let's take out this whole corner here, from here to here, and as high as we can dig it. And we're just gonna flatten out the corner right here. All right, so bad news. I'm out of sand. I can't make more glass. Fortunately, I was looking through my glass box, and I do have some more glass here. And I've just fallen into a hole that I didn't realize was here. Yeah, so there's been a hole in the glass here all the time. Let's see if I have just enough to fill in the glass on this corner. We want to make sure we're not getting any spawns, especially over in this area. So close to the mob farm, it'll reduce our drop rate. So yeah, that's not good, but I have cut it down to the bedrock. So we should be able to reduce the spawns. All right, so now the mob farm is over in this direction. I'm just gonna jump over the corner here, and I'm gonna kind of start digging diagonally until I hit it. Let's see if I can hit that room. There we go. All right, so I've kind of hit the side of it here, and we're just gonna, oh, there's some drops right there. Seems like maybe, oh my goodness, the hoppers are already filling up. Wow, we got lots of arrows, bones, gunpowder, string, flesh. Let's see what's over here. Gunpowder, arrows, bones, string, flesh. Oh, more torches, a lead. Huh. Okay, a glowstone, dust even from a witch must have dropped down here. Oh, the rotten flesh just pouring in. Most useless item in the game when you're not looking for it. Okay, my inventory's getting a little full, but look at that. Look at that. I've got 64 gunpowder. And I basically just started this mob farm. I've already got a stack of gunpowder. That's amazing. All right, so we're gonna continue working to try to set up my inventory system here. And I think I'm going to take this entire wall. Oh, man, what? Oh, I can't get out. Again. All right, so I have a couple things I need to do. I need to grab some more glass. Well, I've got glass, and I could probably just make some black glass. I need to fill in all these gaps, and then I'm going to take all of these corners back. I'm going to take these. Okay, so I'm going to take the circle back to the corners. In this entire area, up 7 blocks, just like I have it here. So that will literally be a balcony right there. That'll be the last of the circular balconies. And then below here, we're actually going to have a square room. So that's why we're just going to go ahead and leave this corner kind of floating here right now. There'll be a balcony above it. It'll make more sense when it's complete. Of course, the balcony will connect over there. And I'm going to go ahead and take all of these walls, like this wall, back here. I'm going to take it back one more block, and then we're going to see how that looks. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, guys, I'm back with a final update. Unfortunately, this episode has taken quite a bit longer than I hoped to, but at least I got the storage started. All right, so what we're going to do in this space is we're going to have... oh, there's shenanigans off to the side there, drawing attention. Yeah, we're getting some armored enemies with feather falling, landing on there. I don't know, eventually they'll just despawn. Should be alright. So, we've got, basically we're going to set up almost this entire wall with little alcoves just like that, with double chests. If I could just finish a sentence and get through this segment, that'd be awesome. So, just to finish off, we've got basically the entire mob farm is going to be stored in, these are 2-column double chest. This goes up 6 high, but I am going to have the bottom row be a takeaway shulker storage system. And back here, as you can see, I think maybe we got the mob farm a little too close to the storage. I was aiming for close, but it's a little too close. So now we're basically going to run another line of hoppers this way, and then or the other way, depending on what works better. You following along, buddy? And then we are going to throw our items up a water column and along the sorting area in order to get those items into the chest they go. But that's all the time I have today, guys. So sorry about the problems I had on the episode. Sorry it took so long to get out. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and please subscribe for more great episodes. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Have a great day.